I'm going to talk about today is NoodleTools. This is what we use to do citations, fill out your bibliographies, to make your references, to fill out note cards when you're doing a research paper for Chelmsford Public School. MLA, and that's what we use. In college, sometimes people use this, and obviously you have Chicago as well, but MLA is what we're going to be using. I prefer advanced, and that's usually what we're using at the high school. But however, if you had somebody who was just starting and maybe was younger, you might want to use one of the other levels of citation. Now we use the advanced one, and then you would obviously have to create the project. Now I already did that, so I'm going to go back to my projects. I'll click on that first. And you can type in a research question. You would type in a thesis statement. And your thesis statement should be obviously what your paper is about, the main central point that your paper is going to prove that you're writing. And a research question, it's good a lot of times to write a question first, because you write the question and then your research report answers. And obviously you can go in and tweak the language a little bit, but it's good to start having that focus. And then let me just go down here. You can also have a to-do list. You can add important dates of when your assignments are going to be due. And then you really have two ways to access things. You have right here on the left-hand side of your to-do list, and you also have the menu bar up top. Some go to the same places. So to Cite Works, if I click on that, it brings me here to where we can do citations. And you can see there's a whole list. And one of the things that NoodleTools really prides itself in is having a diverse number of categories that you can cite. I mean, if you wanted to cite a Skype conversation, for instance, you could go into this and do it. If you wanted to cite a picture or a graphic, you could go in and do it here. I mean, they've thought out just about everything imaginable. Like there's a video blog, if you want to cite a video blog. So if you want to cite a book, journal article, database, the top, some of the important ones, the more common ones are at the top. And then let me scroll down and see some different ones. An interview, a letter, a memo, a review, a video podcast, a video blog, a radio program. Those are things you're less likely to cite, and I usually recommend people staying to name sources when citing something. So going to a database or a journal article or a magazine. But, you know, there are instances if you wanted to cite a photo or an image or something else, obviously you could. The opportunity is there, and NoodleTools can do that for you. So let me go pick a more common one. Let me pick a database one, since that's what we work with a lot. And I'll go create citation. And see, it gives you more specific categories to go to in this case. So let me say it was a journal article. And it would give me a template, and I would fill out the template. And the template's pretty in depth. And you can put annotations in it if you want as well. And it even says, well, what is an annotation? And it explains to you what an annotation is right here. Okay, I'm going to just go back. And then when you're done, you would hit submit. And what it ends up doing is it puts in your indentation, your brackets, and it organizes the information. The old days of looking at different bibliographies or different citations or references, the old days of looking at what other people wrote and then putting in that same structure, those days are over. You can fill out this template and it will put the parentheses the right way, it'll put in the right order, it'll do the indentation, and it'll make it look really nice. You just have to answer the questions that it's asking. And obviously if you had more than one author or contributor, you would have to add that in, add in more than one name and the date. So you'd fill all that information in. And it gives you different choices here if you wanted a website, print, digital file. You get the idea. Okay, you also have your note cards. You can take your notes on this as well. In the olden days, we used to sit there with flashcards and fill them out. Here you can make note cards. If you go and click on this, and you could create a new note card, and obviously you'd have to have a title for it. You would actually link it to the sources that you have. So if you have 5 sources, you could say which source it goes to. You can put the URL if you'd like. any search tags for use later on. And you can put it in a pile. You can actually group the note cards into a pile if they're related to each other, which is kind of cool. The other thing that we have over here is an outline. You can go over here and you can add information into your outline. I'm just going to X out of that for a second. And then you can associate the outline with your note cards. So if you write an outline here, then you could go over and associate with your note cards so that you know that that part of your outline has been addressed. And you can put the note cards actually in a pile. When you save them, it actually physically shows a card here. You can actually put them in a pile to show which note cards are closely related to other note cards. You can do it by source or by topic or however you want to do it. And you can obviously also put on tags if that helps you organize your information as well. This is integrated with Google, so if you have a Google account, you can type in your essay in your Google account. You just log in using your Gmail, and then you could go back and forth between that and NoodleTools. Now, if you don't have a Google account, because we don't provide a Google account on Chelmsford Public Schools, we're not a Google school, so if you wanted to use Microsoft Word on the hard drive of your computer, that would be a good option to do. And you can then just go back and forth between Word and this document. You can cut and paste back and forth if that's helpful, and you could obviously save NoodleTools. When you're done with your bibliographies, you can export them, and it'll put them in the correct format. You click on a button and it exports them, and then you could take that information and you can cut and paste it and put it into your Word document and put your citations at the end. And obviously you have your note cards, and you can cut and paste that information over as well. And that will help you keep track of the information, which citations came from which sources, and you can also look at your outline to make sure that you're covering all the topics with your citations that you're planning on covering. This is an excellent tool, and I highly recommend that all of our students use this when doing citations. If you need any help, please feel free to ask one of your teachers or a librarian. This is John L. Sullivan for Chelmsford Public Schools. Thank you.